And tonight in Indianapolis, more than 3,000 children do not have a home of their own. 13 years ago, former Channel 13 anchor Anne Ryder went under bridges and into storm sewers to show us the hidden world of the children of the street. Well, tonight she returns to find them again. Anne?
Well, life can change in an instant for these kids in an act of violence, abuse, or a parent who dies or loses a job. We were shocked by the conditions in 1998 when we followed a small group called Outreach into the world of homeless children. Well, now their numbers have tripled. Tonight, pull up to the TV for a then and now look at the kids who touched our hearts, children of the street.
In 1998, the children of the street were children of the night.
Just to warn you guys that people can come up behind you.
They slept in storm sewers beneath the city.
Home sweet home.
And abandoned concrete storage bins.
I sleep in a place that's very dark. It reminds me of a tomb in a way.
Outreach!
Back then, Outreach worked by foot and flashlight. 3 Christians in their 20s venturing out in the middle of the night. Outreach founder Eric Howard had food, clothing, and first aid in his van, but the magic was in his eyes.
Some guy treat you like a piece of meat. No. Because you ain't a piece of meat. You're a person.
April was selling sex for drugs.
I needed that feeling.
You need what
I
feeling?
needed that feeling, that comfort feeling.
Come here, give me a hug.
Eric never saw April again.
You're out there doing your own thing. You're just seeing the world for free.
Chad was a graffiti artist and rail rider, a freedom junkie who had been kicked out of his house. That was then. Now, Chad is living, working, and still painting in California, an Outreach success story. A decade ago, Mary Province was a trained social worker with Outreach who connected with homeless kids when she washed their blistered feet.
A lot of them come from middle-class homes in Noblesville, Zionsville, Plainfield, you name it, and you would never think these are the kids that are out on the street.
A regular mom.
Now Mary has 2 children of her own. She and her husband fight homelessness through Rebuilding the Wall, a foundation to help the needy build and buy their own homes.
Wherever I lay my head is my home.
But the homeless kid no one could forget was the self-proclaimed witch with magic marker makeup living under the bridge 13 years ago, Raven.
They're going to remember the face. They may not know the name, but they're going to remember the face.
The face of a drifter, 4 years on the run from an abusive past. We followed Raven through stoned nights.
Drugs, my brain are drugs.
Sick nights, and repeated attempts by Outreach to get him help.
You know what last time I cried was? When I was really, 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 really young. I'm incapable of doing that anymore. He's thirsting, and he's searching for truth. And unfortunately, it's at any cost, including his own.
Years later, Raven burglarized the Outreach office, confessed, and did jail time.
How are you?
Raven, real name Michael Bogue, is now a man of 30.
Just want to look at you. It's been a while. You look much the same, but different without all the magic marker. Oh, my God.
We took him back to his stomping grounds.
Just a lot of memories, good and bad.
Are you still the same guy?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I thought I knew what was best for me. Everybody seen that when I was underneath the bridge all painted up and looking crazy, and that isn't what I really needed. What I really needed was to pull myself together, and there's nothing in me that could do that.
Michael said he was saved by a pastor and his wife who enrolled him in Bible college.
They're treating me literally like their own kid.
But he dropped out after a year when she died of breast cancer.
I'm not houseless because I bounce from house to house to house. But home is where your heart is. And I have no place to have a heart where I can say, this is mine.
Good to see you, man.
Love, faith, and home are the foundations of Outreach, still serving kids and growing.
They are hungry to belong somewhere, and aren't we all?
Which is why the Outreach Drop-In Center looks like a house, the tables set with china plates, and smells like sausage gravy.
They're like my family. It's like I'm being able to serve my family.
The kids trade chores for laundry privileges and help finding permanent jobs and homes. Outreach caseworkers are now in every IPS school, helping homeless kids like Kalisha graduate.
I'm actually the only one out of all my mother's kids to graduate and even make it to college. Blankets, outreach.
15 years after Outreach began, it has grown from a tiny street team to a multifaceted resource for homeless children.
Started out of the trunk of my car, 1 or 2, 20 kids, to now over 600 kids a year, serving, ministering to them, a staff of 13, has really blossomed.
And on the street where it all began, the numbers and needs have tripled. Campfires by the river have become small tent cities.
It's messy. It's just the way the homeless live, I guess. I mean, I need help. I'm not going to lie, because I would be lying if I said I didn't need help.
And for kids living in tunnels and tents, the risks are greater than ever.
Are you safe?
Oh, yeah.
So that's your protection. They need it. The kids on the street are tougher now. They have to be. But the biggest surprise is that children now comprise the largest percentage of homeless people in Indianapolis on any given night. And the average age of the homeless child here is 8 years old. So, next week we track the so-called invisible homeless children as they get off the school bus, hoping they won't be seen as they walk to the shelter, what they call home for now. There is hope and help for these kids, and we'll go there too.
So we'll be seeing you from time to time?
From time to time I'll drop in to tell these hope-to-tell stories. Some of them don't look like it on the outside, but they are. And my next story about those homeless kids, the ones you don't see so obviously, runs next Wednesday. That's here on the Night Beat.
And for people that might need a little refresher, can we go back and see the original stories that were done years ago?
You know you can.
Yeah.
They're on the web. Yeah, we've got Children of the Street on the web. The ones that we ran in 1998, just go to WTHR.com, look for Children of the Street. You can also learn more about outreach and the help they provide to children in need.
Yeah, I knew that. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Well, I know.
Yeah, again, WTHR.com. You can see all the old stories and the new stories, and it's so good to have you back.
Thanks.
And you're looking well.
Thank you, you too.
All right.